Listen carefully. Read along if you need to. But try to listen first. Every sentence is clear. Every idea is complete. This story is for your ears. On July 20th, 2026, 11 days ago, the United Kingdom got a new Prime Minister. His name is Andy Burnham. He is 56 years old. And unlike almost every Prime Minister in British history, he did not come from a wealthy family. He did not attend the most expensive private schools. He did not study at Oxford or Cambridge and then move smoothly into a career in politics while others paid for everything. He grew up in a council house in Lee, a small working-class town in the north of England near Manchester. His father was a gas fitter. His mother worked in a shop. They were ordinary people, living an ordinary life, in a part of England that has sometimes felt forgotten by the politicians who governed it from London. And it is from that specific ordinary particular place, that red brick street, that council house, that northern town, that Andy Burnham has carried everything he has ever done. To understand Andy Burnham, you need to understand one event above all others. An event that did not happen to him directly, but that shaped him completely and defined the work of his political life. On April 15, 1989, Andy Burnham was 19 years old. He was a student who loved football, specifically Liverpool Football Club, one of the most famous football teams in England. That day, he was at Hillsborough Stadium in Sheffield, watching Liverpool play in the FA Cup semi-final. What happened at Hillsborough that afternoon was one of the worst disasters in British sporting history. 97 Liverpool supporters were crushed to death in an overcrowded section of the stadium. Hundreds more were injured. The victims were men, women, and children who had gone to watch a football match and never came home. 4 years after the disaster, the truth of what happened was covered up. The police who had mismanaged the crowd gave false accounts. A national newspaper printed lies, blaming the Liverpool supporters themselves for the deaths. Politicians repeated those lies. And for over 2 decades, the families of the 97 were told that their loved ones had contributed to their own deaths. Andy Burnham knew this was wrong. He had been there. He had seen the truth with his own eyes. For years, he campaigned alongside the families of the victims. He used his position in Parliament to push for a new inquiry. He stood on platforms and said, in plain language, that what had been done to the families of Hillsborough was a profound injustice. In 2012, an independent inquiry finally confirmed what the families had always known. The supporters had not caused the disaster. The police had. The lies told in the aftermath were deliberate. The cover-up was real. Andy Burnham wept publicly when the truth was announced. He did not hide it. He stood among the families and cried, because justice, when it finally comes, sometimes arrives with tears. Before becoming Prime Minister, Andy Burnham served for 7 years as Mayor of Greater Manchester. And those 7 years told the country, and eventually the world, something important about who he was and what kind of leadership he offered. He was not a distant politician. He was visibly, consistently, personally present. When the Manchester Arena bombing happened in May 2017, a terrorist attack at a music venue that killed 22 people, most of them children and teenagers at an Ariana Grande concert, Andy Burnham was outside the arena within hours. He spoke at a vigil in the city centre the next day. He stood with the city in a way that people felt, physically and genuinely. He did not speak in the careful, polished language of politicians managing a crisis at a distance. He spoke in the plain language of someone who lived in the city, who cared about it, and who was in pain alongside the people he served. One phrase from his speech at that vigil is still quoted today. He called Manchester a city that has been chosen. He meant that the attacker had chosen Manchester to try to break. And Manchester had refused to break. Andy Burnham's rise to Prime Minister carries a direct and powerful lesson for English learners. And it is this: the way you speak matters enormously. But the way you speak is not the same as how complicated or elaborate your vocabulary is. Andy Burnham does not speak with the clipped, formal accent of the traditional British establishment. He speaks with a Northern English accent, the accent of Lee, of Manchester, of working-class Lancashire. And for most of his career, people in power tried, in subtle ways, to suggest that this made him less authoritative, less credible, less suited to the highest positions. He did not change his accent. He did not smooth it away. He kept it because it was real and because it was his. And the people of the United Kingdom, on July 20, 2026, made him Prime Minister. For English learners, this story carries a message that I want you to hold on to. Your accent, whatever it is not a flaw. It is not something to be ashamed of or to eliminate before you can be taken seriously. It is the sound of who you are and where you come from. And where you come from is not a weakness. It is a perspective. It is a reality. It is something that the person with the smooth, identical, performed accent does not have. Andy Burnham kept his accent through 30 years of politics. He kept the specific flat vowels of the north of England, and he brought them into 10 Downing Street. You will bring your accent into the English language. Both of you will be richer for it. Now listen to the story again from the beginning. Then try to retell it in 3 sentences out loud in your own English words. Start here. Andy Burnham is the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, a man who grew up in a working-class family in the north of England and who, keep going. Use what you have. Do not stop. Your voice with your accent in your English belongs here. Sarah English. Keep going.